The Atlanta Hawks have a massive decision to make. Want to level up? Gotta raise the stakes. We need a big who can bang and pop. Crash the boards hard, then stretch from the top. Offense stuck, can't always lean on Trae. Gotta find those pieces that can change the play. He's a wolf in the snow, but he can feast in the heat. We need more spacing and damage from the three. Like, come on, Hawks. I'm begging and I plead. Could the Hawks be in play for a guy like Nash Reed? Welcome back, everybody. This is Chris Tipmore here, and you are in the right place, Hawks Digest. So take off your shoes, leave on your socks, and we're going to get into a report that is centered around a big man with playoff experience, a big man that was a former Sixth Man of the Year. And in this video, of course, I'm going to tell you all about how I feel about Mr. Nash Reed. But before I do, go ahead, man, slide off them slippers, man, take off your shoes, leave on your socks. Let's get into it, you dig? Thank you, everybody who is a part of Hawks Digest, making us one of your first listens when you need that Hawks content. We're trying to be number one for you guys, so thank you for everybody who's already subscribed. And if you're not subscribed just yet, come on over and do us a favor and be a part of Hawks Digest, the Digest Media family. We are growing, and we are here for you when you need that Hawks content. But guys, again, like I said, got to get into this one. Automatically, we're talking about, like I said, a guy that they said had a down year. And it's just so crazy because, 14.2 points, 6 rebounds, two-thirds of assists, 2.3 assists, almost 1 block a game, nearly 1 steal a game, limited on the turnovers. That's not bad right there, 1.4. Almost 3 fouls a game. That's not bad either. You look at the field goal percentage. 46 from the field, 37 from 3. And this is considered a down year from a guy who was just Sixth Man of the Year behind Rudy Gobert and Cat. So you look at that and you like, that's interesting. But as I have this on the screen, I'm going to tell you guys, first of all, Nash Reed for the last 2 seasons has only missed 3 games. He's played 81 and 23-24. 80 this past season, but his minutes went up from 24.2 to 27.5 this season. He averaged more points this year because he averaged 13.5 in his Sixth Man of the Year. He also 46.2%, as you see, 47.7% in that year. Now the 3-point shooting, 37.9 that year. 41.4. His rebounds went up, his assists went up, and his steals is right there, kind of like right by each other, 0.7, 0.8. So I'm trying to figure out if that's a down year, then you can give me that on Atlanta all day long, okay? If that's what they consider a down year. Nash Reed can come in and be one of those guys who can pick and pop, he can stretch the floor. Again, he has a $15 million player option, that will keep him with the Timberwolves for at least another season. But if the Timberwolves are smart, they would try to keep Nash Reed, as you already lost Cat in the offseason, with trading him to the Knicks for Julius Randle. Then you still have Rudy Gobert, who was nearly, next to nothing as it got deeper in the playoff run. They really wasn't able to really just maximize on Nash Reed. And they may feel like, hey, it possibly was a down year. Maybe he is regressing. I don't see it. Honestly, I think Nash Reed is a good player that can come in on the Atlanta Hawks and execute that spacing. This guy can definitely stretch the floor. We know that he can knock down the 3. What do we need, guys? We need shooting. We need 3-point shooting. Again, like I said in the beginning, we need somebody that can stretch the floor. We need more damage from the 3. Now, I get what some people are going to say. Nash Reed is only about 6'9", which roughly, just a little bit taller than Onyeka Okongwu. But again, these 2 guys can stretch the floor. Onyeka Okongwu has gotten better from the 3. Even though if people talk about his size, we still were better as a defensive team. Regardless of how people feel, the numbers say it. We were a better defensive team when Onyeka Okongwu was in starting over any other center that we had. So take that with a grain of salt, even with his size. that people like to complain about. Again, Nash Reed, though, playing behind Rudy Gobert, it's a possibility that this veteran may want to take advantage of this thin, and I do mean thin, free agency class, possibly opt out and see if he can get money somewhere else. And I would believe that that's where the Atlanta Hawks should step in. We're talking about all these big moves. I've talked about it. Walter has talked about it. All these rumors about big moves for Giannis or KD and everything like that. You can possibly make little smaller moves like a Nash Reed, who would be an absolutely reliable, incredible option to bolster our offense. Okay? We need shooting. That's what he can provide. In the front court, that's what he can provide as well. I believe that he can come to Atlanta and be very comfortable. And like I said, help guys like Trae Young. Can you imagine having Trae and Nash Reed maybe in the pick and pop, having Trae and Nash Reed, coming off of the pick and roll, possibly being a lob threat? Then you also can have that guy spacing the floor, taking the big men out of the paint so Trae can be able to navigate a little bit more, or anyone else with backdoor cuts, etc. Slashing, etc. So, I would like the option of Nash Reed being on the Atlanta Hawks. It's very tempting. And of course, even if Nash Reed does sign into that player option, it doesn't mean that you don't try to trade for him. It doesn't mean that that just kills the option of planning on trying to get a guy like Nash Reed on the team. The Atlanta Hawks need shooting. Again, I'm just getting to the point, but I'm also reiterating so it can really stick. This guy right here can help stretch the floor. This guy right here brings some toughness as well. And more importantly than anything that I said, let me dial it back for you guys and get back to the most important thing out of the shooting for me. He stays healthy. Again, only 3 games missed in the last 2 games. 81 games in his year, 6-man. 80 games last year. What else do the Hawks need? Somebody who can stay healthy, guys. We need people who can stay healthy, guys. So I'm just saying that's another option as well. So just think about that. But I'm not done just yet. Since I got you up here on the big screen, I have to talk about the good news briefly before I get up out of here. Because again, I don't want to take too much time for this video. This is pretty much cut and dry for me. Go get a guy who can stretch the floor. I understand you still can go in the draft and get players. The same way how I was talking about for those who seen my Daniel Gafford video. This is the same difference, but this is better than Daniel Gafford because this guy can stretch the floor better than Daniel Gafford can. This guy can also help on the defensive end just like a Daniel Gafford could. Lob threat, all those. But let me get into the good news, like I said, because I feel like I'm about to repeat everything all over again. So, the Atlanta Hawks. It's breaking news, guys. MLK jerseys could be on the way. The Hawk City edition for 2025-2026 is possibly set to be the 2020-2021 set. Remember, the Pope, he blessed these jerseys, and we went on our historical Eastern Conference run. I say historical because we beat the Knicks. Nobody expected that. Well, maybe some people did. But those Sixers, nobody gave us a chance against those Sixers. Not until Game 7 when we took them that far. So you had that, and of course nobody believed in us against the Bucks. But I'm telling you, Trae Young doesn't get hurt. I don't know, Milwaukee. I don't know if you have a championship right now, just being honest. And this is something that we have been chasing since we wore these jerseys. And I'm not saying that it's all just about jerseys. But what I'm saying is we have been chasing 2021 ever since it happened in Atlanta. And honestly, Atlanta is a city that is used to familiarity. You look at all the other teams, you look at the moves that we've made. If we're talking about Atlanta sports period, Falcons, Braves, you can see little things that have been done that's been familiarity, and it brings it back to the city. This right here, I can't wait for these jerseys to come out. Ooh, can you imagine Zaccharie Risacher MLK jersey? Ooh, can you imagine Jalen Johnson MLK jersey? Ooh, can you imagine the most improved player of the year, Dyson Daniels, in the MLK jersey? Man, let me just stop because I'm telling you, I can just see the possibilities being endless. These guys are going to look great in them, and I can't wait for that to happen. But guys, again, this has been Hawks Digest. Let me go ahead and show you guys the flag because that's what it's all about. The logo, baby. So again, peace and blessings to you all, guys. This is just a quick update. Nash Reed, hey, Hawks, if you can make that move, you don't always have to go swing for the home run. You can go ahead and knock a single. You can knock a double, and you also can get a triple. And I believe with Nash Reed, that's a triple right there. So that's my thoughts. Peace and blessings to you all, and to you all,